So we usually stream directly on YouTube. So that's what we're working on.
Sorry, I should have mentioned that. That's why. Thank you,
Um,
Thomas.
let's record also, please.
Okay, great. Okay, Isaac, you're good. You can start.
For those of us who might just be joining Success Within International or a breakfast meeting for the first time, I'd like to introduce you to, who we are. So give me a second. Let me try to share my screen. Right. So who are we? We are Success Within International, and we're a faith-based organization with the principal aim of igniting the success power within people with emphasis on the youth, right? And our vision is to raise people of outstanding success for global relevance. So it's not just we're not just trying to raise people who are successful. We are not just trying to build a community of successful people, but there is something called outstanding success. It is God's way of success, right? And it's not just local relevance. We're not just trying to be relevant in the Nigerian market. We're not just trying to be relevant, here in Africa. We are working to be relevant all over the world. And we have a number of core values that we adhere to. These are the things that guide us. These are the things that guide our ideologies. These are the values that guide our actions. And so I'd like very quickly a few volunteers here in the breakfast meeting to tell us one or two core values that you're familiar with. One or two of Success Within International's core values. Very quickly, who would like to volunteer? Where are our responses? No one.
Hi.
No one.
Hello, Isaac. Good
Hi,
morning.
Thomas.
Yeah, I know spirituality for one,
Okay, thank you.
spirituality and synergy. So let me take the two S,
All right,
spirituality and
thank you
synergy.
very much. Thank you very much, Thomas. Does anyone else want to at least take a guess?
Hi, Zeke.
Hi,
Excellence is
Tolu.
one.
Thank you, Tolu. Excellence is one of our core values. Okay, so very quickly, let me just run through our core values in Success Within International. Yeah, so our core values are, we have an acronym for our core values, speed with, which is actually SSPEEDD. So spirituality, again, I mentioned earlier that this is a faith-based organization, and we ensure that everything we do according to biblical principles, according to Christian principles, and we ensure that whatever we do is basically we're spiritual, right? And we ensure that all that we do is according to biblical principles. And synergy is teamwork on steroids. So this means that we like to, even though we're a community, we like to make sure that we have a unified goal and we work together hand in hand. And basically we have a united goal. We work to achieve the same thing, right? So that's synergy and passion. We are passionate about what we do. We are passionate about raising people of outstanding success for global relevance. We are passionate about excellence. The more time you spend with Success Within International, the more you realize that these people are really passionate about excellence. And then exemplary lifestyle. We don't just talk, we ensure that we walk the talk. So that means whatever it is that we are preaching, we make sure, we make it a habit to actually do what we preach. And that's the only way you can actually take us seriously. And excellence is my favorite of these core values. Excellence, we ensure that whatever we do, we put our best. We put in our best. And we also ensure that whenever we have an opportunity to do the same thing, it must be an improvement on the last, however we did it last time. And discipline, we ensure as a community and as a family we ensure that we do what is right, not what is always convenient. So what that means is discipline, you cannot actually achieve outstanding success without discipline, because sometimes it won't be convenient to do the things that are important to you. It won't be convenient to do the things that are necessary for you to do, but you have to do them nonetheless. And finally, diligence. Diligence means that whatever we do, we are properly invested in it. We put in our energy, we put in our time, we put in our effort, we put in all our resources, right? To ensure that we give it our best. And finally, not finally, our mission. Our mission is to help nurture youth for creativity and excellence, to teach youth God's way of success, to help youth discover talent and purpose, to raise an army of people who will take over the economy positively, and to help people ignite their potential. I think just from hearing this, you realize that if you consider yourself a youth, then you are exactly who we were expecting today. And during the course of the year, Success Within International is not just a company. There are a lot of activities that we are involved in. There are a lot of initiatives that we're involved in. We have the monthly breakfast meeting. We also have webinars. We have monthly webinars where we discuss really important topics, and these are actually more they are very interactive. And then we also have some initiatives. We have charity initiatives. We have Project Smile, something we call Project Smile, which is a charity drive around Christmas. We have the Success Within International Teenagers Bootcamp, which is coming up in August. We have what we call the SWI Professional Academy. We have the SWI Upskilling Academy, or the SWI Upskilling School, Career Upskilling School, where people learn various digital skills. And we have a bunch of them. We also have our mentorship program, which I believe a lot of you would love to hear about later in the year. So let me quickly wrap this up. Thank you very much for joining us today. And I believe now you know a bit more about Success Within International than you did when we started this meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Isaac. That was an explanatory and insightful one. So I hope that now we know what we do, who we are at Success International, what we do, the things we stand for. And without further ado, we'll be going straight into the main session. And I'm super excited about this session because obviously we are still in the season of love. And it is important for us to actually understand what love truly means, to be able to share it to others. So we're going right into the session. But before then, like earlier stated, we are streaming on YouTube. So the YouTube link will be shared shortly on in the chat box, and also on WhatsApp. So you can also share that by social media so that others can also join. And now I'll be handing over to Pastor Tolulope Oludapo, who will be taking us on the session. Good morning, sir. You're welcome.
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for having me. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna turn on my camera now. Hi, good morning. Thank you so much for having me. Success with International is an organization that I love so much. Not only for the not only for the sentimental reason that our convener, our president is a dear friend of mine, someone I love and respect so much. But because of what the organization stands for and what the initiatives, the activities over the years. This is an organization that is committed to the total man, to ensure excellence all around, not just in one aspect. So I'm really grateful to, like, I don't take opportunities like this lightly at all. So thank you for having me. It's good to be here, and thank you also for. I know this was initially supposed to be 10, but I asked to move it a bit 9 o'clock. Thank you for indulging me for that. The reason is I have a flight to catch right after this session. So, so yes, let me jump right into it. If you have any questions, I might not have so much time to take questions at the end. Good morning, Oyinda. Good to see you. I might not have so much time to take questions. So I think you can just put the questions in the chat box as I'm talking so that I can always just go back to them and pick some of them to answer. So don't wait to the end. Just ask the question as I'll proceed. And I've been given the topic love beyond romance. A love beyond romance, ultimate love that transcends conditions and expectations. And if this is not my first time here, so I know some of us are probably familiar with how I do my thing. So I'm going to ask the question. If someone walks up to you and says, I love you, what comes to mind? What do you think the person means? I really love feedback, so I want us to be, to respond. Let's snap in our response. If someone walks up to you and says, "I love you," what does the person mean? What do you think the person is saying?
The person has a deeper form of emotion for me.
The person has a deeper form of revelation of you.
No, or emotion.
Emotion. Okay. A deeper form of emotion for you. Okay, that's a good one. All right. Anybody else? Anybody?
Okay, there's something about me that draws the person to me that just makes them, fancy me in a certain way.
Okay. I like that. I like that so much. There's something about you that just draws the person to you. There's something about you they fancy. Okay, I like that. Show in the chat says, I think the person likes my personality differently. Okay, that's an interesting one. The person likes your personality differently. What if I tell you, okay, I don't even need to tell us, many of us, we know this. Two people can tell you they love you and mean the exact opposite. Do we know that? Two people can show seemingly loving action, the actions, things we say, oh my God, this guy loves you now. See what he's doing for you. He's buying you things. Valentine just passed, and people are going always, emptying their account and buying cute things, wearing red and all that. I'm like, oh my God, he loves me. Two people can do exact same action, say exact same thing, and mean the exact opposite. Love is one of such concepts that if you're not careful enough to slow down and investigate, you might assume wrongly. Let me explain what I mean. Because of course it's a faith-based organization, so I'm going to use scriptures. Open a Bible to 1 Corinthians 13. Let me start with that. 1 Corinthians 13. In 1 Corinthians 13, verse 3, 1 Corinthians 13, verse 3 said, if I gave everything I have to the poor and even sacrificed my body, but I have no love, it profits me nothing. Think of the verse I just read. 1 Corinthians 13, verse 3. So if I gave everything I have to the poor, see, if you're to describe someone like, oh my God, this person is such a loving person, like, he has mastered the art of love. The act of, charity towards the poor, showing love in action, giving to the poor. This is not even the giving to, to get something back. Like he's giving to the poor, for God's sake. That's something you would tag as love. So even if I sacrifice my body to be born, so imagine, let's say a house is burning, And like, oh my God, there's a child in the house, and someone runs inside the house, runs inside the house, grabs the child. You might like, oh my God, he has mastered the art of love. But guess what? Paul is saying, I can do all that and have no love. I can do all that and have no love. It's mind-blowing that, yes, baby girl, it's mind-blowing that the action that you will assume to mean love, someone can portray and show those actions and might not love at all. That's crazy. Let me tell us a story. And this is a very, very sad story. And it's a story from the book of 2 Samuel chapter 13. 2 Samuel chapter 13. I'll read from verse 1 all the way to verse 16. I'll try and paraphrase where I can. 1 Samuel chapter 1. Thank you, admin, for the scripture screen. So 2 Samuel 13. I'll read NLT. So if you have NLT, you can just walk with me with NLT. Now David's son, Absalom, had a beautiful sister named Tamar. And Amnon, her half-brother, fell desperately in love with her. What's the story? Amnon had an half-sister, and the name of the half-sister is Amnon, is Tamar. And Amnon says, oh my God, said he fell desperately in love with her. See, do you know why this is important? Before I go a bit further in this, the reason why this conversation is so important is we are at a time where you can't just embrace or accept anyone and everyone that says I love you, because they can be telling you they love you and they mean something entirely different. And one thing I've realized, or one thing I've learned is Satan is such a master of disguise. Most of the time, you want to ask, how does Satan operate? We think Satan, he invents his own ways. The Bible tells us how Satan operates. It said he's a master of disguise. What he does is he perverts the things that God already has. So, I don't know who said this, who made this statement. He said most of the time, Satan is not in the black, is often in the gray. So it's not the way, evil or Satan portrays himself is not in the obviously evil things. Just think of Satan, he's wearing black, he has red marks on the face. I can know him from afar. But most of the time, that's not how you actually discern, Satan. It is, the Bible says that he portrays himself as angel of light. So most of the time, if you're not careful enough, you want to be able to separate. If you're not discerning, you would think it's God. It comes in the good advice. It comes in the seemingly good things or good ways. So let me go back to the story, the Bible verse. Thank you, Thomas, for putting that in the comment section. So let me keep reading. So Amnon, according to him, was desperately in love with a sister. And Amnon became so obsessed with Tamar that he became ill. And now, this is something many of us convert in a relationship. If you don't love me so much that you fall sick, I don't want it. Like, oh my God, I've not seen you for a week and I feel sick. I'm like, oh, cute. This is people's idea of love. Like, he loves me so much because he didn't see me for a week, he fell sick. Oh my God. Well, we're going somewhere. So because Amnon was so obsessed with Tamar, he became ill. The Bible says she was a virgin, and Amnon thought he could never have her. So Amnon told him, I'm in love. Okay, verse 3. But Amnon had a very crafty friend, his cousin Jonadab. He was son of David's brother Shimeah. One day, Jonadab said to Amnon, what's the trouble? Why should the son of a king look so dejected morning after morning? Meaning, the love he had for Tamar and the idea or the assumption that he can never have her was visible. It was such that people can see, something is wrong with this guy. You're not yourself. Like, imagine all those movies you watch, like imagine all this Bridgerton movie, his prince, he has not left his room for 2 weeks. All the curtains are closed, he has not eaten, there's just food plates piled up by his door. Like, what's wrong with you? Like, the love was so, like, it was so visible that people, like his friend can say, dude, you're not okay, you're not normal. Something is obviously wrong. Now, I proceed, I'm now in verse 4. So Amnon told him, I'm in love with Tamar, my brother's Absalom's sister. Verse 5, but Jonadab said, I tell you what to do. Go back to bed. Pretend you're ill. When your father comes to see you, ask him to let Tamar come and prepare some food for you. Tell him you feel better if she prepares it as you watch and feeds you with her own hands. Now, Jonadab's idea is, if you can pretend, you can have her. This is the idea of love many people have today. Excuse me. Many people form and portray what they're not just because they love the partner. And interestingly, this is something some people will commend. But like, I mean, I want to go and see the sister. I want to go and see I want to go and see this baby. I want to go and like, you know what? I'll borrow your friend's car. I'll borrow these jackets. And then you portray yourself with what you're not. The world will tell you, oh, he's making efforts. The world will tell you is trying his best. Is fake it till you make it. I keep reading now, verse 6. So he took the advice of his friend. He pretended as if he was sick. David agreed, and Tamar came. Let me jump because of time. Verse 8, she went to his place, cooked and prepared his meal. In verse 9, but when she set the 7th tray before him, he refused to eat. Is everyone get out of here? Amnon told his servants, so they all left. Verse 10, then he said to Tamar, now bring the food into my bedroom and feed it to me here. So Tamar took his favorite dish to him. But as she was feeding him, he grabbed her and demanded, come to bed with me, my darling sister. So it was not of his head. He knew what he was doing. Babe, don't carry that. I need it. Okay. So he said, come to bed with me, my darling sister. It means he was still in his right senses. Then verse 12, no, my brother, she cried, don't be foolish. Don't do this to me. Such wicked things aren't done in Israel. Now he asked, come to bed with me, have sex with me. And the sister is saying, don't be foolish. Meaning, he still had the opportunity to change his mind, to reconsider what he was asking for. Verse 13 said, where could I go in my shame? Said, and you could have called, said, you would call the foolish person, said, please speak to the king about this. He will let you marry me. But Amnon wouldn't listen to her. And since he was stronger than her, and that she was, he raped her. Then suddenly Amnon's love turned to hate, and he hated her even more than he had loved her. Get out of here, she snared at her. No, Tamar cried. Sending me away now is worse than what you have already done to me. Then verse 17, he commanded, throw this woman out. Now this woman. Throw this woman out and lock the door behind her. Why am I telling this story? Why am I starting like this? This is such a sad and bitter story. But the reason I'm starting like this is because many people, love has driven many people to do reckless things. Love has driven, many people have made stupid decisions. Many people have, wreaked havoc just in the name of love. We've seen people, file for divorce from their marriage, and they say, I still love her. Or they say, oh, I love somebody else. We've seen people like this story, rape people, and like, why did you do that? It's because I love you. Meaning, if you're not careful enough to ask ourselves the right question, what exactly is love? People will keep blaming love for things that are not love. And sometimes, even if you're not careful, you fall victim of such ploys or such lies. So now, what is love? Let me tell you another story. This happened to me. This is a personal story, and it happened quite a while back. It was during NYC, and I met somebody, a lady, and when we met, we met like even was on like in a faith basis. I was reading a Christian book, and like, oh my God, we believe her. She came over. They said, oh my God, I'm a Christian too. I love this book. Then so we kind of we started talking. We made acquaintance. We became friends over a faith reason. Then she mentioned at church. Then we started sharing faith. Oh my God, she's like, oh, God told me this, God told me that, and it was cool. It's like I found someone of mutual faith and same values. Let me put that on the surface that I can relate with. So thank you. You can take this text scripture away for now. Then we became friends. Then not so long after, like, be friends, talking, a lot. After like 2 weeks, she said, oh, she wasn't feeling fine. Something, please, that she come over to our house and everything. So this Christian sister, we built friendship over a while. Then I went to our house. And before I could even remove my shoes and everything, she was always saying, oh my God, I love you. I want you. Please, what she was asking for. She was asking for sex. And I was like, no now. And she was begging me, I love you so much. Please, let's do this. And she's like, even if you go all the way, just 5 minutes and all that. And God helped me. I was able to leave the place. It was a classic Joseph and Potiphar's life story. So I left. But the moment I got back to my apartment, she sent me a message. I opened my phone. She sent me a picture. In the picture, she had cut herself. She had cut herself. And she took the picture. She sent it to me. And she said, Emily, you're muted. We can hear you. Okay. She had cut herself. And she sent me the picture. And she sent it. She said, the heart has no control over whom it loves. And according to her, it was because she loves me that she wanted what she was asking for. And because I resisted an offer of love, and because she loves me so much, that drove her to do that. And I'm saying all this to say, you can't date everyone that claims to love you. You can't accept every seemingly loving action. You have to investigate. It might look like love, but is it really love? And now this drives me to, of course, I have to now define. So what does love mean? What does love mean? Now let me show us what love is not. And I'll probably just mention on two to just lay foundation. Most of the time, many people associate love as a strong emotions. When some of us explained, when I asked us if someone says they love you, what does it mean? Many of us say they have strong feelings for you. They have strong emotions for you. Many define love as strong emotions. And absolutely, strong emotions or strong feelings is part of the element of love. But is you really love? Is that what love is? Because okay, because of time, let me just keep that. Many people think love is that thing that transcends, that transcendent feeling, that butterflies. You can't, that magical emotions, something that just gets you giddy. You don't really know how to put it and explain. So for many people, love is, feelings of emotions. But one few things you have to know about emotions is emotions are very fluid. They're here today, they're out tomorrow. Love is more solid. Emotions, they come and they go. Love lasts forever. I was listening to a pastor and he said, he's been married for more than 20 years, about 20, 25 years. And he said, when I kiss my wife now, do I still have sparks? Do I still feel that spark, that feeling? He said, no, I don't. I said, but does that mean I don't love my wife anymore? As compared to when we first kissed 20, 25 years ago, then there was spark and butterflies. He said, I dare say that I have more love now than when it first started. And feelings and emotions are unpredictable. Love is stable. Most of the time, feelings of emotions, they kind of decline. Love grows when it's sustained and when it's nurtured. And feelings sometimes are fickle and they are empty. Let me ask us, you can use the raise hand button to let me know if you fall into this category. Have you ever how do I coin this? Okay. Have you ever once loved somebody, had a strong, feeling of emotions, for them? After a while, you realize that, man, I actually don't like this person like I thought I did. Anybody like that? Let me know. If you fall into the category, let me know. Okay, I can see one hand up already. 2. Thank you for your honesty. 3, 4. Okay. Let me ask a second question. Thank you. You can put your hands down. I can see about 5 hands. Have you ever eventually liked somebody that initially you vowed you can never fall in love with? Has that ever happened to you? Like initially you met the person like, nah, this is not gonna work. This is not my person. Nah, I'm not feeling it. Then down the line, you are like, oh my gosh, shouldn't I be this? I can see 2 hands already. Please give me 30 seconds. I have to pick this call. Sorry, I have to take that. Start someone picking me up, statement to the airport. So, when I first met my wife, I initially said, man, I'm not feeling it. I don't think so. Why? I judged based on what I saw. I just saw some pictures on a story. They were throwback pictures, and I made my decision based on that. Like, no, I'm not feeling it. I don't think she's the one. Look at me now. I'm head over heels in love, crazy in love with her. Have you ever hated someone you loved before? Have you ever loved someone so much in one moment and in the next moment, you're like cat and dog? Now, I can go on and on, ask more questions, but all these prove that emotions, strong feelings, they are not the right metrics to judge love. Ask any married person. You have many moments in your marriage where the feelings will not be there. I've had moments in my marriage where I'm like, oh my God, what the heck is this? I'm so angry. I'm just like, I just want to walk out of the door. Every married person has felt that. Which is why in the world today, people that just judge their love based on feelings and emotions, a year, 2 years into it, they want out. That explains why the rate of divorce today is high. It's almost 50% rate of divorce out there, because once they stop feeling it, then they're out of the way. So love is not an emotion, and there are many things that look like love, but they're not love. And some of them are associated with strong feelings. Let me give an example. Many of us know what infatuation is. Infatuation is that strong feelings, that strong attraction, obsession. It looks like love, but it lacks depth or commitment. Have you seen, as long as you're having sex, they're good, but the moment you're apart, you thought 2 of you were crazy because, you were in the same house, it was hot for 1 month. Then you have to travel. Then you are away for 3 months or a month and you barely talk, you barely what you thought was like the eye gone. That's infatuation. There's no commitment. There's no that sense of I'm here, I dare for you. Truth, thick and thin. It's not there. Obsession. Many of us will watch movies, there are movies like that where there's a stalker, watching your steps. Someone once told me a story of somebody. The guy claims to love her. The guy has never given her anything, has not given her any gift, anything. But the guy is always on the phone so that the person can watch her movement. To watch who's that? Why are you talking to? Where are you going to? There was a day, the first time the guy bought her a gift, the gift was a power bank, and it was because her battery was dying and a guy was visiting her. So he bought her a power bank so that she can charge her phone and so that he can remain on the call to hear their conversation. Some will say, oh my God, you just always want to spend time with me. Quality time. That's my love language. Probably you even dated someone that, the person will talk once in a while. Like, you just want to stay with me all the time. It looks like love, but it's not love. It's obsession. There are many things that look like love, but are not. Possessiveness. They cut away from your friends, cut away from your family. Like, why are you going to hang out? Say you love me. If you love me, you will stay with me. The only two of us, you and me, forever. All those things look like love, but they're not love. They're not love. And for men that define love as feelings or strong emotions, it explains why they justify so many crazy things. The guy will come, maybe you did something, you didn't cook a food the way you're supposed to, then just carry your clothes, throw them outside in the rain, in the mud. And it's because I love you. That's why, when you do things like that, they drive me crazy. Maybe slaps you, beats you, blue, black, says because I stepped on his toes. His love is like fire. It's always burning red hot. Some people define love as, just some set of actions. They just want someone that ticks the box. He bought me a gift. He attends my birthday. He remembers important dates. Then that's love. Those are important, but that's not all what love is. And most of the time, the reason why this happens is who is defining love? Who is defining love? If someone that is fresh out of a breakup define love, they will define a bit different from someone that has been committed, happily married for 20 years. What do you think love means for our parents that have been married for 20, 30 years? For them, if they are to define love, their definition will be very different from, someone in university and there's this macho guy, tall, dark, handsome, that's in love. Some of them will claim to be in love, but their definition will be different. Which is why, for us, who is defining our love must be something that transcends something that is fickle or something temporal. God must define love for us. And the Bible says, of course, the Bible says God is love. It means if I want to get a perfect definition of love, I should look to God. This is where many people get bored when conversation comes to this point. I know you say God is love, but let's be practical. You can realize that, the word of God actually is very practical than we give it credit for. Open your Bible to 1 Corinthians chapter 13, from verse 4 to verse 7. Bible says love is patient. Love is patient. And you can literally use 1 Corinthians 14 from verse 4 to verse 7 as a litmus test for anyone that claims to love you. Like if you want to trust, check, does this person truly love me? Bring them next to 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4 to verse 17. Then it will expose many things. Love is patient. Are they patient with you? Are they patient through your flaws? I've seen someone say, God told me you're my wife, I love you so much, if I give you just a week. If you don't reply me in 1 week, there are many people that they're waiting. I'm a spec. They're waiting for what I'm offering you, they're dying for it. So it is a privilege. If you don't accept it now, I'm out of the door. There are people like that. The people like that. So Are they patient with you? You know, can you tell them, okay, you love me, that's fine. I want to be sure. I want to be sure. Just give me time. Give me time. Are they patient enough for you to come to that level to, you know, are they patient? And I can give examples, and besides said there are fishes in the ocean. Yes, you know, are they patient enough? Can they wait? I know that you're sure about me. I'm not there yet, but I want us to build that friendship for me to, I want to know you. I don't know you enough to make such a decision. Are they patient enough to give you that time? I say love is kind. Are they kind to you? Are they kind to others? Because most of the time, it's easy for people to show loving actions towards you and show the opposite to other people. But what you don't realize is people will do anything to get with you, but the moment they're comfortable with you, they're out of the door. Are they kind? How do they treat people that owe them nothing? How do they treat people that are lower than them? How do they act towards other people? See, if they're kind only to you, it's a matter of time. They will show you the true color. If they're just kind to you just to get with you, what happens when they're comfortable? What happens when they're married? Are they kind? Are they kind to your friends? Are they kind to other people? Are they kind to the security man? Are they kind to the subordinate at work? Are they kind? I said, love does not envy. Love does not envy. Have you seen people that they will literally cut you from your friends? They will cut you from your friends, cut you from everyone around them just in the name of love. You can't hang out with your friends anymore. You can't have other friends. It's only them. You have to be their beginning to the end. I say love is not boastful. Love does not demand its own. Just, you can keep it up. You can keep the scripture up. You can keep. I love the NLT translation they give me. It said it's not irritable. It does not seek his own. Love does not seek his own. Literally, like, love is not rude. Love is not proud. Have you seen people, they're right, nobody's wrong. As long as their ego is being massaged, as long as they're fine. It's just show. It does not demand its own. They're the only right, they're the only one that is right, everybody is wrong. Perhaps it keeps no record of wrong. They'll remind you of, when you were this, when you were that, when you were this, when you were that. I can keep going on and on, but I have to wrap up now. And I'm saying all this to say, love must be healthy. Love must be deep. The foundation must transpire beyond just feelings, beyond just emotions. It's a decision. There's a movie, Firefighters, I think that's the name of the movie. And they said, love is not a place you come in and you come and go in as you please. It says the house you enter in, then commit to never leave. That's what love is. Love is a commitment. That's why God's example of love is what we like. It said, husband, love your wife like Christ loved the church. Meaning the love of Christ is even an example, a matrix of love, even for a marriage relationship. So just a marriage is romantic. God's love is, that's only agape, leave it out. No, God is even in the institution of marriage, the standard of love for the husband is that of Christ. Sacrificial. Love is commitment. It stays with you even when is not being reciprocated, it's still committed. It still stays with you. It's deep. It's LD. Love is LD. See, there are many false ideology of love today that many people normalize. Love must be perpetual and enduring. It's choosing to be with someone, choosing to be excited with, about waking up to them morning after morning. It's not, love is choosing not to be tired regardless of how many mornings you've woken up to them. And this separates love from lust. What some people claim to have is lust and not love. And someone can say, okay, but how do I judge this in a dating relationship? Is by being careful enough to watch for signs, by asking the right questions, by giving it time, by testing testing their commitments. Do they keep to their words? See, this is the last thing I'm going to say, and which is one way you're going to judge love is, can that commitment stand the test of time? Because you'll be married for ×2, ×3 as much time as your that you've been alive. You're 20, you'll be married to your 80. I mean, that's almost 4 times as you've been alive, you're married for. Many people date as though marriage is going to last for just a year. What do you want? Tall, dark, handsome. But then you would, in 5 years, in 10 years, they're going to change. It means the decision must be one that can transcend, can stand the test of time, can wait, can span different phases. When your wife is pregnant and can't give to you, can't cook or can't do all the things they're doing, will your commitment still stay? If they lose their job and when they're angry, so you're thinking long term, you're thinking future in view. So I'm going to wrap up with that. I'll take 1 or 2 questions and we'll wrap this up. Hope you've learned something. So 2 questions, and I would have to run. I have to be out of here already. So I don't know if you learned something. I know that this might not be exhaustive, but this is just to plant a seed in your heart, and not a seed of fear, and not suspicion, but yes, suspicion, where you can question every law, you can question everything that looks like law, because sometimes the devil gives good advice. Doesn't mean he cares about you. Oh, Jesus, you're hungry, turn stone to bread. Oh, jump down from the pinnacle. That it looks like love does not mean it's love. So, all right, any question before I run out of here? You can put it in the question chat box, or you can just unmute yourself. 1 question, and I hope we've learned something. I hope I've been able to just sow that seed of with us. So, can infatuation, obsession later become love? Yes, it's possible. Yes, it's possible. And this is what I mean. Maybe not obsession, because obsession is it's not a positive trait. But it's possible to see someone initially and be head over heel with them. Oh my God. Oh, you see somebody and all butterflies and everything. But now that feeling, sometimes the initial eye can die off, but in knowing the person, knowing their traits, seeing, how they treat others, seeing, their commitment to work and all those things. I have to take this call, please. Forgive me for all this. It's a lot happening around. I have a meeting by 10, so I have to give people access to, Anyway, so yes, love can grow. Initial infatuation or seemingly shallow feeling can become solidified when you know the person. So I don't know about when infatuation meets commitments, then love can grow. So this is not just an emotional high, you can match it up with the commitment. There are people that they don't mind sleeping with you, don't mind having sex with you, but they're not ready to commit. But I'm here for you, all the way. So yeah, it's dicey. I can see Mano, your hands up. Please unmute yourself and ask a question.
Hi, good morning, sir. Thank you so much for the lesson today. So my question is, how do you love someone, mostly in a dating relationship, especially when you're not yet sure whether this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with? To an extent, let's say you're trying not to get yourself so invested in the person yet until you're sure that, okay, this is actually the person I want to give my life and my heart to. How do you make that balance in your relationship?
Okay. So see, the truth is, love in a dating relationship and love in marriage are not 2 different things. They're the same thing. The only thing is their level of commitments that are exclusive only for marriage. Things like sex, things like, emptying your accounts and everything. But the truth is, if you sincerely care about somebody, you care about them, you care about their well-being, you care about their well-being, you will spend on them. You care about them, you will help them with things. So it's not necessarily different or exoteric. And that sense of wanting to be careful and not give all yourself because relationship might end is a toxic or trauma response. Because the truth is, there are not two ways to love. Love is complete. Love is unconditional. So you're not trying to just be careful and safeguard yourself so that eventually when they serve you breakfast, you're like, I knew they were not going to, they might not end. So I don't want to be so in so that I won't be heartbroken, which is why you need to, before you commit all the way, you must do the due diligence. You must ask the right question. You must ask, you must test, you must question them. Why do you love me? Why are you here? Who else have you loved? What exactly do you see in this? Are you in this for the long run? So when you ask all the questions, more like when you do all the tests, just the way before any company will hire somebody, they ask all the questions, because you can hire someone today and they will leave you tomorrow. But what the interview process will do is to help make sure and check that, you can take a risk, because either ways, love is risk. So there are no ways to know, but there are no two other ways to love than completely and entirely. But what differentiates marriage from dating is the depth of commitment. So you're not just doing it for the sex. There's no sex. You're not giving the things that are supposed to be exclusive for marriage in dating relationship. I know that's not exhaustive, but I hope that I was able to answer a bit. Tammy said,
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Does someone who uses your weakness against you care about you? They always come in place of their teaching you. No, love is not a school. It's a red flag. It's a red flag. They're constantly using your weakness against you, meaning they will do so in marriage. They will do so in marriage. I tell you, oh, you know what? In time past, I've been sexually abused. Then they tell you, let's have sex. No, I don't want to have sex with you. Like, you're not a virgin now. What are you hiding? That person does not love you. Love protects. It protects. Doesn't exploit weakness. So it's and see, even dating is not meant to. Some say, "Oh, dating, maybe God is using this to teach me something." No, you're meant to enjoy your relationship. You're meant to enjoy your love. So it's a red flag. All right, I have to run now. If there are more questions, please, I don't know if there's a way you can compile the questions, send it to me. I will answer them and share with us so we can share with us on our platform. Thank you so much for having me. I have to run now.
Thank you so much. Excuse me. Thank you so much. That was an amazing session. I hope we learned so much as I did. Please, can we appreciate Pastor Tolu in the chat box? Let's say thank you, sir. The virtual claps. If our comment, let's say thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We absolutely had an amazing session. We love you too. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. So we still have more thank yous coming. Thank you. So before we move on to the next segment of today's breakfast meeting, can we share one or two things that we learned from today's session with Pastor Tolu? You can either choose to mute or drop it in the chat box. I'll do the reading. Just share one or two things that you learned from today's session with Pastor Tolu. Deshala says, love is complete. Yes, love is complete. Can we have other comments? You can also choose to mute if you want to.
You must enjoy your relationship, please.
Yes, enjoy your relationship. It is very important. Thank you. For me, it will be God is love and the word of God is our standard. So if you want to learn how to love, what did you say?
He was distracted. He's gone.